Got it. Hi, everybody. My name is John Sexton. I'm coming to you live from New School of Architecture and Design here in beautiful downtown San Diego, California. And this is an information session about our construction management bachelor's program as well as our master's construction management program. And we have Steve Matley here, who is the head of the program. He's the guru when it comes to construction management. This is mainly about construction management, so I'm going to let him kind of take it away. He'll have a lot of information. Now, at the end, we'll have this opportunity to, we'll give you some contact information or whatnot to get additional uh, bits about the school. Like, who are we? Why do we do what we do? Who teaches here? What are our outcomes and all that great stuff. But right now, I'm sure you're kind of more curious about construction management. So I'm going to hand it over to Steve, and you can go ahead and take it away. I'll take myself off video and audio, but of course, we'll always be open for questions a little bit later, and you'll have some links to go through as well. All right, thank you.
Welcome, everybody. If you have any questions that come up, if you pop in, anybody pops in, has questions, you can put them up in the chat, or we'll entertain some Q&A afterwards if we have anybody that has questions. My name is Steve Matley. I'm going to quickly shift to a screen share. So I have a little slide deck to go along with this. Click that, and then click that. And if I did this right, is it? There we go, share, and here we go. If I did that right, we should be seeing a slide deck. Okay. Again, New School of Architecture and Design, we have both an undergraduate in construction management and we have a graduate degree. I'm going to first talk about the undergraduate program. That is on ground. It's here in San Diego at our downtown campus. So New School, if you want to who we are, where we came from. It says New School, but we're not that new. We've been around since 1980. We started the construction management program in 2011. If you want to come by and visit our campus, we are at the corner of Park Boulevard and G Street in downtown San Diego. We're between F and G Street. We are accredited by WASC, which is one of the regional accrediting bodies under the Department of Education. And we also have some individual program accreditations as well. Just so you know who's talking to you. We didn't just pull somebody off the street. I actually have some credentials. I have been a professional construction manager for many decades. I worked as a general contractor. I was a litigation support specialist, expert witness. I was the vice president of a production home builder. I currently have a company, and I've had previous companies doing land acquisition, entitlement processing, land development. I've been a multiple business owner. I'm a real estate developer, and I'm president of a nonprofit. So I've been around a little bit, and I am probably not the most accomplished of our faculty. So we have fantastic faculty here I'm going to talk to you about in a second. So let's talk about the undergraduate degree program. The bachelor degree program in construction management is on ground. It is in person. You come to the campus. It is a 4-year program, 180 term credits, traditional delivery. That's traditional schooling. One reason we like having the campus where it is we teach construction management and really what's a laboratory. And what I mean by that is in downtown San Diego, there are always multiple construction projects going on. We're in a classroom talking about materials, talking about structures, talking about site logistics, and it looks like we're not quite clear on what's going on. We can just stand up, we can walk out into the street to the sidewalk, we can walk up and down a block either direction, and we'll have a construction project to look at. And we have impromptu field trips on a regular basis. We walk outside and look and see what's going on. Currently, there are at least half a dozen projects within a 3-block walk of the school, and that's normal. We also tour other projects around. Our students went through the San Diego State Stadium project several times while it was under last year, and we like to have the students see what's actually in the field. So that's a big advantage being here on ground in San Diego. So what are you going to learn in this program? Well, there's a lot of basic traditional stuff that has to be covered: estimating, scheduling, contract documents, materials and methods and structures and those type of things. But we like to, every program has its own little focus. We like to focus on a lot of the team building and leadership aspects of it as well, because a true construction manager may not design, engineer, or build anything. They may just be what we call an orchestra. What that means is you don't have to write the music or play any of the instruments. You have to know enough about it to be able to read the music and be able to communicate that to the people who play the instruments and are experts at it. And you trust those experts. And the experts in our field are going to be design consultants and engineers. They're going to be trade contractors. They're going to be suppliers. So that's what we do, is coordinate all that. If we do it well, it's a beautiful symphony. If we don't do it well, it's a disaster. So our job is to teach you the basics of how to conduct that symphony, how to build those teams and those teams. We do talk about current standards for buildings, code standards. Of course, that's based on US standards. We do have international students. That's why I threw that in. We talk about materials and methods that are used for construction: residential construction, commercial construction, institutional construction, heavy civil construction. We talk about cost estimating and task scheduling, and that's the two things most people really think of. We have a lot of people approach us and say, "Can I just take estimating and scheduling? That's what I really need if they don't know." Estimating and scheduling are really the basics of what has to be done to plan a project. Everybody asks the first two questions anybody asks when you start a project: how much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? And that's what those two topics teach. We talk about finance and accounting. Obviously, construction has a lot of money and resources tied to it. Tens to hundreds of millions of dollars going into these, sometimes billions if you're talking very large projects. We go through contract documents and construction law, because the people that build are called contractors, not constructors. And the reason is they spend actually more time managing contracts than managing the actual construction. You have to understand how contracts work, the terms and the conditions, specifications, how everything is laid out. It's the rules of the game. Once you know the rules of the game, you can play it. Worker safety is obviously a huge thing. Construction is the second most dangerous occupation out there, according to OSHA. So as far as injury and illness. So safety is a huge thing, and it's a big area of emphasis out there in the industry. So cover that. We actually, you'll get a OSHA 30 cert by taking our safety class. Energy efficiency and sustainability. There's another thing we have, we call a green building class, sustainability and efficiency. The gentleman that teaches that is LEED certified, and that's another one. There's an option in there to take the LEED certification exam as the final exam and have a LEED cert. LEED is the US Green Building Council's certification for sustainable building. Environmental protection, we talk about that. Risk mitigation, because there's a lot of risk in construction, not just the obvious risk of injury and illness. There's risk financially. There's risk to third parties. There's risk of affecting neighbors. Talk about how to mitigate those risks. Team building and leadership is a huge area of emphasis in our program. It's about leadership. As a construction manager, you are leading potentially hundreds of workers and involved from dozens of different individual companies in their contract that are not your employees. Someone else, and we have to understand how to build those teams and make those work. There's teams that are made up of laborers all the way up to very highly educated engineers, and then how to keep pace with all new developments. We don't want to teach you construction for today. We want to teach you the principles that can be used for construction as it evolves, because if you come here, your real career, your decision making in your career is going to be 10 to 20 years. You're going to come here, you're going to go into an entry level position and work your way up. And the idea is to equip you, and in order to use tools and resources that haven't even been. It's a collaborative approach. Construction is not a solo act. Everything's team build, team effort. I will tell you this: if you do not like team projects, it's not a program for you, because construction is not a solo effort. Everything is a team, and therefore our classes, our curriculum, our projects are built around doing things as teams. We do competitions. I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but we've been very successful in design build competitions and construction management competitions nationally. We do integrated capstone. We just had our final exam for our capstone class this week, where architects join the class and they design and then put together the construction plan for a building. And sometimes it's commercial, sometimes it's residential. It's whatever the students choose to do as their project for that year. You can get minors in architecture or in one of the design disciplines. We have product design, interior architecture design, and we have graphic and media design. You can get minors in those along with your construction management major. If you're looking at another degree, say architecture, you could get a CM minor, construction management minor in that degree program. Our coursework includes architecture classes. We rely on the architecture classes for structures and materials and those type of things. And we have integrated studies classes. Most schools would call that general ed. We call it integrated studies because it's not just isolated classes to check off boxes that you need in order to get all the English and the science and the philosophy and all that stuff out of the way. We make sure that the classes here tie back into your majors. Okay, our academics. There's a very high job placement rate for construction managers. It's not because we're better than anybody else. It's not because it's more prestigious than anything else. It's just a supply and demand issue. There are not as many people wanting to go into construction management as there are positions available for construction managers. All the companies are desperate for educated, skilled people to show up and be construction managers. There's a shortage in the trades as well, but in construction management, so this is just a list of some of the companies where our alums currently work. There's pictures here of our students doing site walks and working with the industry, but this is just a partial list. The list is as long as your arm of companies where our graduates are currently working as alums, and they've worked themselves into, in many cases, positions of decision making. Our faculty works for those same companies, so it's no accident that our students work for those companies. Our faculty, a lot of them, not the reason they work here, but one of the reasons they work here is they get first shot at the best students when they need to hire people. They're looking for people to hire too. And by teaching here, they have an inside track to the students. But the main reason they teach here is because the industry isn't good to them and they want to give back. Every one of them started at zero. And somebody taught them and mentored them and helped them progress through the ranks into the positions. They're all very successful now, and they work for some of the biggest companies that are around. And the great thing about our faculty is we don't put a large emphasis on how many degrees did you earn and how many publications did you do and how many research grants did you get. That's not our focus. Our focus at New School is what have you done? What's your professional resume look like? And so our faculty do in the daytime what they teach our students in the afternoon. They all work in or are recently retired from these larger companies, and all the companies you've ever heard of, and they are deeply connected to these. The program focus, again, we focus on methodologies, knowledge, process, analysis, and leadership, as opposed to specific things. For example, we don't have a specific class in a specific software. We don't, teach a class in we don't teach a class in CAD. We use all those. We use all those because I've been around the industry long enough to remember when we were using programs like Lotus that didn't exist. We were using programs like Fast Track, which was Apple's scheduling software that doesn't exist anymore. So we don't teach software to teach the software. We use the software to support what we're teaching, principles, theories that you will need to use any application software tools that may not be developed until 10, 20 years into your career. So let's talk about the graduate degree. So that was the undergraduate degree. And that one was 4 years on ground here in San Diego tradition. The Master's of Construction Management degree is very, very different. It is 12 months only. Now, most master's degrees are 2 years. We've designed our master's degree around the busy person already working in this. The undergrad is designed for people that are looking to learn and become entry-level employees in the construction management, build a new career. It's also great for people changing careers. The MCM degree is designed for working professionals that are already in the industry or something closely related to it. In fact, the #1 undergraduate degree of our master's students is architecture, because these are people that have architecture degrees or working in the industry, and find themselves in project management roles, but they were not trained for that. They were trained to design projects. So they will take the MCM in order to get that skill, and that helps them move up. We also have people that have construction management undergrads that are looking to get out of them. So it's 12 months. It's completely online. It's completely asynchronous. So this is when you do at your own pace. Now, that doesn't mean you wait for the entire term and do it all at the last week. There are deadlines. Every single week there are deadlines. So you have to be engaged. And I would say if you were interested in this program, you would need to budget a minimum of 2 to 3 days per week and 2 to 3 hours per session in order to keep up on this. And that's at a bare minimum. Honestly, you should be putting in somewhere in the 25, 30 hour a week realm. You're going to stay up on a full-time basis. Now you have the option of doing part-time, which means you only take 6 credits per term for 2 years instead of 12 credits. For some of our students, they do that because their schedules are so busy. If they're working in the industry and they're working in a very busy company, they could be working 60 to 70 hours a week. Plus they have a family and other things. It's very difficult to devote time. So they would rather take the 2 years and take it at a slower pace. And there again, you're probably looking at a minimum of 15 days to the program. Is online. It's 48 total credits. There's 8 classes. Each class is 6 credits. The plan is to take 2 classes. So that's 12 credits each term for 4 terms. 4 terms is 1 calendar year. The start dates are every single term. That's 4 of those per year. So that's generally going to be October, January, April, and July. Our start dates are. Again, asynchronous. Asynchronous just means you don't need to show up at a specific time and date and join a class. Having said that, we have been working over the last year to integrate some synchronous activities, not required, but so the students can get to work with each other. We launched that this past year in several classes, and it's been very, very effective. We're using Teams, Microsoft Teams, which you have access to when you're a student here within our network. We set that up so that you and the instructor can have real-time conversations with each other. We don't make that a mandatory component because we have students all over the world. So time zone differences people, but we make that available. Many classes, and we're integrating that into classes. You participate weekly in your online class. Again, you can choose part-time or full-time. We do not require a GRE or a GMAT for admissions for this. And again, if you want to do it in 12 months, you can do it in 12 months. This is a list of the classes, the topics you would take. Now, here's the interesting thing. You don't see estimating and scheduling and contract documents and materials and methods, structures and codes. You don't see that in here. Why? Because the Master's in Construction Management is not just an advanced version of the undergrad. It's a different animal. Remember, a lot of our people taking this have already been through that, or they're architects and they've been in there, or they're engineers and they've been doing this. Having said that, we have a lot of our students that come in and they have completely unrelated undergraduate degrees. This was designed for people that want to get into construction or are working in construction that did not have that undergraduate background. Maybe they have a business degree. Maybe they have some type of a philosophy degree or something like that. We have several with art and theology degrees. They have a little bit of catching up to do as far as the prerequisite work. So that means they got to, and a lot of that can be done using internet tools to get some basics behind you, but it can be done. So these are the topics we look at. Again, this is geared towards leadership. This is geared towards decision-making. This is geared towards understanding the resource allocation on a project. And you'll end up with a capstone in this class where you'll do a complete project debrief. What you're doing is during the class, you're looking at how a project proceeds and responding to what is coming from owner and what's coming from designers is what you need to do. And at the end, you're going to make a presentation as if you finished the project and you're giving sort of a post-mortem on it. What worked, what didn't work, what you would do better next time, how things panned out cost-wise, schedule-wise. And it's really an issue of exercise and put all these pieces together and make it work and understand how to apply it to managing the project. So our programs are based on application. So what is the industry like out there? Well, it pays pretty well. And again, obviously California, where we're located, is a little higher. If you're outside of California, you have to look at your state. On a national level, that's what we just pulled national statistics. Just under 100,000 a year is the median pay as of 2020. That's gone up since then. So whether it's bachelor's or a master's degree, obviously master's degree is going to pay a little higher because you're going to be an upper management. Higher in that. So again, our masters of construction management students work at a lot of the same companies our undergrads do, and even others because they're outside the area. We have alums from our master's degree program that are out of state and sometimes out of country. They work for a lot of the big companies. So competitions. There's only one competition that allows graduate students to compete, and that's the DBIA competition. All the other competitions is for undergraduate students. So if you're looking at the undergrad, there are several competitions that we have options to do each year. Right now, we have a team going to the NAHB competition. They are competing in Las Vegas in the end of January against 22 other colleges and universities. So hopefully they'll do very well there. That's a custom home design build project. Before the pandemic, we were in competitions pretty aggressively. The last time we did the DBA competition, which was right before everything shut down, so it was late 2019, our team took third place nationally out of 62 colleges and universities. We've been at the ASC, Associated Schools of Construction competitions, the Region 6 and 7 competitions, and the national competitions in Reno. Out of 7 years, we've taken first place 3 times. So that's pretty good considering a lot of schools that are never even placed. And then there is the ABC competition, Associated Builders and Contractors. They are working with us right now to form a team to be in their competition in March this year. So we're looking at that as well. So we have a lot of opportunities for different competitions. Why do we do competitions? Competitions are where students get to take what they learned in the classroom and figure out if they can use it in reality. They work together. They're given real life projects that are judged and evaluated by industry personnel, by companies that sponsor the problems. That also, every one of those competitions usually involves some type of association. The reason these companies take their time away from what they do, building buildings and designing things, is because they sponsor the competition so they can get their hands on the next crop of students coming out, because again, there's a shortage. There's a shortage of students that are available to graduate and go into their companies as professionals. So these are some of the pictures of some of our winning teams in the past. And that's pretty much all I've got on the slide deck, and we can open it up for any kind of questions or any clarification we need.
Hi there, I'm just going to jump in. This is John once again in admissions. I'm just putting up in the chat just a way to get a hold of somebody here on the campus. It's just admissions at newschoolarch.edu. Put that up in just a second. If anybody has any specific questions, you can send them through the chat, or you can just perk up. But this particular process is more about giving you information about the program. You would talk to someone in admissions like myself to get additional information about the school. We are, like Stu said, downtown San Diego. We're in the middle, we have cranes going up all around us. We're deep in the heart of construction management country. We're the 8th largest city in the country. A lot of people are surprised by that, and we're constantly growing. So there's a lot of opportunity here, but we also teach to an international market as well. So we do this, especially their Masters of Construction Management is something that students take all around the world because it is completely online, because most of the students in that program are working full time. So we're here for the students. We're a smaller school. We're very much about professional development, which is, it's not just theory. It's not just, good technology. It's this combination. Steve said it very well when he said, learning about technology is one thing. Learning about how technology aids us in what we do every day is more important. So we teach design skills. We teach presentation skills. We teach professional skills as opposed to, and we use all of the software and whatnot to help students to that goal. So we're very much about creating the template for a professional to enter into their field, both outside of a bachelor's or moving into their master's as well.
Yes, John. So if people want to get follow-up information, do we have the website, phone number? How do they get to connect with us?
Yes, I had the chat up for just a second and went away, but I'll find it. But it's just admissions at newschoolarch.edu, and then also you could contact me, Jay Sexton, at newschoolarch.edu. And I just need to bring my chat up. For some reason, it disappeared.
Admissions at newschoolarch.edu. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, just
Okay.
admissions. You got it. Cool. And that's about it. So the rest is just finding out whether or not our community is the community for you. And that's the most important thing for us, is to say, hey, this is who we are. You get to meet some amazing faculty, amazing students, and find out more about what we do, but going through the admissions. As Steve mentioned, we are WASC accredited, which means we have we just like any other school, we look at transfer credits, we look at prior degrees, we look at what you're looking to do as a professional, and help you along with that journey. And we're all here to assist with telling you who we are about, because as I always say, we love it when students start school here, but we really love it when they graduate. So that's additional information would be from us. But if anybody has any questions about just construction management, then you've got the guru right here.
And I want to throw out also, one of the great advantages to New School is we're a small school. We're not a school where you're going to come in and sit in a 500-seat lecture hall and some graduate assistant's going to come in and deliver a lecture and you never know who your professor is and you got to make an appointment. No, everybody is available to you. Small classes, direct contact with all of your professors, with myself. I'm here on campus. I teach classes. I have an office here with office hours posted outside of it. Outside of that, I'm always available. I have students that contact me on Teams. I have students that, ask me, make appointments with me, that they stalk me after class. And a lot of times after they graduate, I have students reaching out to me, former students reaching out to me all the time, asking me for letters of recommendation, asking me for advice on projects they're doing. They'll say, hey, remember in class when we talked about this? Well, I didn't really understand it then, but our project's doing that right now. Where do I go to get more information on that? And I can point them back. So it's very interactive, and we pride ourselves on having direct relationships.
All right, well, if that's it, we have the Steve's information is up on the chat, as well as just the general information. Please visit us at any time. Of course, if you're in the San Diego area at any time, we'd love to invite you in for a tour so you can actually see what the school is all about and see if it's a good fit for you. That's the most important thing for us, is to find students that feel like this is definitely the good fit for them. And hopefully you're doing your due diligence, and by participating in something like this, it means you are. So thank you very much. Steve, if you have anything else,
Well, for anybody that logged in or is watching this, obviously you're searching for something a little different. You're looking to make a change. You're looking to for a different career. Whatever it is you do the research. Obviously we hope you end up here, but whatever you do, we wish you all the best. And make sure that whichever direction you go, it's a fit for you.
Perfect. Thank you all so very much, and have a great rest of your day.